Hello and welcome to the Tryline Podcast. Tomorrow the footy's back, round two. Cannot wait. I'm your host, Bo. This is my co-host, Danny.
Hey mate, how are
Good man. I'm lost Monday to Wednesdays when the footy's not on. Thursday to Sunday, my life has meaning. You know what I mean?
you?
Outside of
Yeah.
that, I don't know what to do myself. I just sit at home twiddling me thumbs. What game are you most excited for this week?
Uh, to be honest, I'm excited for the Titans Broncos game.
Yeah, that'll be very
I,
interesting, actually, I think.
yeah. Yeah, I think it's going to be a good game, and I'm excited to see how the Titans go. And the Broncos are looking good. Well, they looked good last round anyway, so
Yeah.
I'm excited to see how they go this week.
I'm excited for the Warriors Knights game. I think that's going to be
Ooh.
a battle of the big boys. And I really like the Knights forward pack. I like what they tossed up last week. So I'm excited for that one. Before we get into the round review, I want to talk about some interesting players off contract. Now, there are a lot of
Yep.
names off contract from the end of this year. We've talked about Dearden. He looks like he's going to be leaving the Broncos. He has said publicly that his preference is to stay at the Broncos. But if he's not in the 17, you think he's going to look to go elsewhere? So the Cowboys
100%.
looks like a pretty good
Yeah.
fit for him, considering they're going to lose Jake Clifford at the end of this year. And another one at the Broncos, Katoni Staggs. Now he's off contract as of 2021. He does have a player option for 2022, so he can choose to go around for them if he wants. But he
Yep.
can also test his market value. I think
Okay.
he'll go for good money, and I think there's a lot of places that could use a quality center right now.
100%. I think I heard that the Bulldogs
Yeah,
they're going to offer him some big money to go there. I think Parramatta are also in the chase there.
and there's some noise
Um,
around the Titans being a chance to sign him too.
no way.
Well, they kept some money spare for Cameron Smith, so they do have the cash if they want to go after him. But he has also said publicly that he'd like to stay at the Broncos as well. I mean, why would he say anything different? Now,
Yeah.
one close to your team, there's some chat around today that Ryan Madison is his management's looking to see what his value would be out there right now, which would be a huge loss for the Eels. Another one
Yeah.
in the forwards, Nathan Brown's contract is up at the end of this year. Manly have reportedly offered him around 600,000 a year for 2 years too.
No.
So I don't know if you can't keep everyone. The Eels, a lot of the Eels players' price are going up because they've been pretty successful, especially
Yeah.
last year they made the top four. So obviously their prices are going up. Uh, Ryan Madison, what are your thoughts there?
Ryan Madison, I mean, he's a good player. I'd rather re-sign Nathan Brown, to be
Yeah,
honest
well,
with you.
Nathan Brown and 600K. I think that's pretty doable for the Eels. I think they could. I think they
Yeah.
should probably pay that money.
Yeah, and I think Ryan Madison would probably he'd probably demand a little bit more than 600K.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd rather re-sign Nathan Brown. And you got that Isaiah Papali'i
Yeah,
there
yeah.
as well. He can fill a spot if any of like literally any of the forwards leave.
Yeah,
I
well, it
think I had a
looks.
dream about him last night, to be honest. I'm not gonna
you,
lie, I'm pretty sure I was dreaming about him.
you're wearing a Panthers jumper. It's pretty much the mortal enemy of the Eels there.
Oh,
What's
no,
doing?
yeah. All right. So everyone, I went to the grand final last year and it was bloody freezing and wet, and yeah, I was bloody had to buy either a Storm or a Panthers jersey.
Wait, how many
And
jumpers did you buy that night? Because you bought me one too.
I bought you one. I think I bought 3 or 4 jumpers. Did I
You're a
buy?
dickhead.
I didn't buy Tory one, did I?
Nah, I don't remember. I think I did. Maybe
Yeah.
chivalry. All right, let's get into the games. What do you got for us? First game.
Alrighty, the first game Thursday night. Want to kick off the week with a banger, I reckon. We got the Storm taking on the Eels at Bankwest Stadium. Only change to either team is Nia Cora has come into the 17 for Keegan Hipgrave. Other than that, both teams exactly the same.
So
Um,
Hipgraves, is he injured or is he just been
I
dropped?
think he's just been dropped. To be honest,
I only brought him there this year, so that's pretty interesting.
yeah. Well, he didn't play much footy last week, but I don't know. I don't know.
I've got
Don't know what's on there.
only 7 days ago, we were sitting here and we had both written off the Storm round one.
Mm,
You said they'd get done 13 plus.
I did.
And as I was doing me notes for this game, I was sitting here and I was kind of looking at the Eels. I'm going, man, they're a chance. They're a chance. Am I going to sit here and write the Storm off 2 weeks in a row? And then
Oh,
I decided I can't do that. Now, first game at Bank West for the Eels this year. The crowd, I think that will help them a lot. Obviously, they started slow last week, so they should be up for it from the outset.
Yeah.
The Eels have to keep this game close early. They can't let the Storm start like they did last week.
Yeah.
So I feel like the first 20 will decide a lot of this game, but I can't in good conscience bet against the Storm again. So that's why I've gone the Storm. But I think the Eels are a chance.
Yeah. You know what? I was thinking the same. I was thinking if the Eels want to win, they've got to keep this game close. Yeah, in the first half, as you said, they can't play the footy that they played last week against the Broncos
Oh, no.
in the first half. Otherwise, they're going to get rolled.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that at Bankwest, with the home crowd, I think that they're going to get it done.
Mate, I was on board with you, but then I was thinking, I said the same last week. I said that that South were going to roll them, and they were outstanding last week, especially in the
Yeah.
first half. So I've got to go to Storm. I have to go to Storm. All right, on to the next.
On to
Warriors
the next
Knights.
game. Yeah, Friday night, Warriors Knights at Central Coast Stadium. Again, should be a good game. Adam Pompey is in starting place for injured Ewan Aiken.
Yeah.
And other than that, both teams the same as round one.
Ewan Aiken's out for a little while, so that's unfortunate for him. Just newly Warriors recruit there. Both teams coming off pretty good wins in round one.
Yeah.
I've got the Knights here. I really, really like what I saw from their forward pack. But they did come up against the Bulldogs, who a forward pack got rolled. The Warriors, I thought, were very good in round one. The Titans, I think, in attack, they really lacked some creativity last week. So it'd be interesting to see how they do coming up against the Knights outfit that can score points.
Yeah.
But I'll say the Knights in a tight one.
Yeah, I reckon as well. I reckon this game could go either way. The Knights did look good last week. Their forwards dominated, but the Warriors also looked pretty good as well.
Yeah.
But for this week, I think the Knights forward pack will be a little bit too good again.
All right.
Anyway, on to the next. Titans versus Broncos at Seabus Super Stadium. Philip Sammy's going to be playing his first game of the year. He's in place for Brian Kelly after he broke his hand last week. Yes, so no good. Flegler starts in place for Matt Lodge, who got that hamstring injury, with Reece Kennedy coming onto the bench.
Philip Sammy coming off a big year playing Origin last year, so good for him. Good to see him back. Matt Lodge just can't stay healthy, can he? Just can't stay healthy.
He's such a good player. He just can't stay healthy. I don't know.
It's a real big problem for the Broncos, who have invested decent money into him, and he just can't stay on the park because he is damaging, but he's a big part of what they want to do, especially in attack. So no Matt Lodge, no Payne Haas, no Katoni Staggs. I don't think I can look at the Broncos in this game. I think it will be a good game. I think they looked okay in attack, but they're missing far too much strike power for me. So I'm going to go the Titans to register their first win of the year.
Oh, I'm going to have to disagree with you there, mate. Even without those last week, they were still they didn't have Matt Lodge for 65 minutes of the game last week. Sorry. I think they're still going to be a pretty dangerous side. I think everyone's going to be saying, nah, the Broncos, they're no chance. I reckon that this year they're looking like a different team. They're looking like they're putting in a lot more effort. And I think they might even take that personally. I reckon the Broncos will get it done here.
Do you think the Broncos were really good in the first half, or the Eels were very bad in the first half last week? Because I'm leaning towards the latter. I'm thinking the Eels were very bad last week in the first half. And the Broncos, to their credit, took advantage of that and played some pretty good footy. But I can't see the Titans coming out and playing like the Eels did in the first half last week. I think they'll be up for it, especially coming off the back of a loss in which they know they were poor in attack last week. I think they would have hopefully fixed a little bit of that this week. I just can't. They're missing too much for me, the Broncos, to tip them with any confidence.
Yeah. Well, I said in the video yesterday that the Eels played an equally bad half, as the Broncos had played good.
Yeah. Okay.
But I do think the Broncos. I'm tipping the Broncos. That's all I was saying.
I'm interested to see this game. I think it'll be good.
Yeah. Alrighty. Anyway, we got the next game is the Bulldogs versus Panthers at Bank West. Jeremy Marshall King, he started. He's not starting. He's been named on the bench, 14 as utility. with Raymond Fatala-Mariner and Corey Waddell swapping places. So Fatala-Mariner will start. Corey Waddell's back to the bench. And there's been no changes for Panthers. So same 17 as last week.
Is this not one of the biggest asks for the Bulldogs here to come up against the Panthers? The Panthers have one of the best looking forward packs in the game right now. The Bulldogs forward pack was just outmatched last week. So huge ask for the Panthers. If there's any team that's gonna huge ask for the Bulldogs. If there's any team that's gonna know how the Panthers are gonna play, it's gonna be the Bulldogs. Trent Barrett was there last year. He was their attacking coach. Nathan Cleary even credits him with a lot of his development last year and how they attack. So at least they'll have that little bit of advantage. But from what I've seen from the Bulldogs forward pack last week, I can't see him turning that around enough to beat the Panthers this week. So I want to see an improvement there, but I can't see him beating the Panthers.
Yeah, no, me neither. I think that the Bulldogs will be in the arm wrestle for 10, 20 minutes max until the bench comes on maybe. Then I think the Panthers will just run away with it, to be honest. Anyway, we got Manly versus Souths next game at Lottoland. Excuse me. Andrew Davey, he's starting instead of Jack Kajewski. He didn't play a very good game on the weekend. Funa and Boyle, they've both been dropped for Kate Cust and Sean Kepi. And with the Bunnies, a few big ones here. So Josh Mansour, he's been dropped in place for Jackson Paulo. He'll start on the wing. And Jacob Host has also been dropped with Kaloa Matangi coming into the starting side. And I think his name's Patrick Margot.
What do you think about Josh Mansour, especially being dropped? Jacob Host then drops Josh Mansour, new recruits there for South. One game. Josh Mansour will probably be the first to admit he wasn't great on the weekend. I think he had a few errors there. But, I think it's more Wayne Bennett sending a message to everyone. Like, he's expecting big things from that side this year. He's expecting a grand final potentially. So he is showing that there is a standard here that they want to set and they want to play out all year by dropping these two.
Yeah.
I think it's rough, but you can see where he's coming from.
Yeah, you definitely can. Josh Mansour, I don't know, maybe it was his first game with the Bunnies, was it?
Yeah.
I mean,
no, he played a trial, but first real game,
Yeah, I mean, surely maybe it must
against
have
the
been
Storm.
nerves or something. Yeah, against the Storm.
In Melbourne.
I
thought it was rough.
Yeah, I think it's a bit rough for Mansour to be dropped. And even Host.
Yeah.
Like, they're both good players, but Wayne Bennett obviously knows a lot more than us. We're just
you think Wayne Bennett's a better coach than us?
Nah. Yeah, debatable.
I think the Manly will bounce back this week. I think there's got to be some kind of bounce back. They can't get flogged in round one with some of those defensive efforts they had and not turn around in some attitude, like some attitude change here. That's what I'm expecting. I don't think they'll win, but I don't think they'll get flogged. I think there's going to be some kind of adjustment, bounce back in attitude from them. And I think maybe South get it done 24-10 or something.
I think it's going to be worse than that, mate. It's going to be a lot worse than that. If South can hold the ball, it'll be bad. It'll be real bad.
We'll see. I got South, but I just think Manly there'll be an attitude change this week. I think they're going to get some reaction, especially at Lotto Land in front of their home crowd. I don't think they'll be absolutely disgraced, but I do think they'll be beat.
It doesn't matter how good a team you are, what your attitude is. If South hold the ball, you're getting flogged.
Yeah, they do have the ability to run up a score on anyone, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Rightio, on to the next. Cowboys versus Dragons at Queensland Country Bank Stadium. It's a bit of a mouthful.
It's a terrible name.
It is. No change to the Cowboys side from week one. And only change for the Dragons is Corey Norman. He's back in his side, and Adam Clune has been axed for him.
So I had a fair bit to say on the Cowboys on the review show. I just hope they buy into what Todd Payton's trying to do there. Obviously, he's trying to change the culture. He's trying to set a standard at that club. So hopefully the team buys into that because he is the coach. He's the man that they've brought in to do this. So you've got to get in line with him. They kept the same team, which I like. I don't see the point in changing the team from round one if you're going to go with that from the start of the year. The Dragons, on the other hand, they've got Corey Norman back. So that means correct me if I'm wrong. This is their strongest 17. Is that right?
Yeah. This would be.
This is their 17 that they think they've put together that they think can go on and make them the semifinals. So
Yeah.
we're going to see the best version of the Dragons really on the weekend. This is where it's going to come down to if they're going to be good enough or not. They've got Corey Norman, Ben Hunt, and Andrew McCulloch, who all know each other very well. They all played at the Broncos.
They all played at the Broncos, yeah.
Yeah, they've known each other for a while. So that's the team that they built this around. So we're going to see the best version of the Dragons. And I'm a little bit worried as a Cowboys fan. From what I saw, a lot more positives out of the Dragons last week than I saw out of the Cowboys. Again, I think there will be a reaction from the Cowboys at home. So I'm going to go with my heart and say the Cowboys, but I am worried.
You know, this game could go either way. I said this about the Warriors Knights game. I think this one could go either way. The Dragons looked good in patches last week against the Sharks. And yesterday you said the Cowboys attack wasn't really up to par, but I thought the defense was really good. Going on that, it's hard to say which team would win here. Yeah. But I'm going to go with you. I'm going to say the Cowboys.
Is this the hardest one to tip of the round? I think it is. This is my biggest toss-up of the round.
Yeah, it's hard to. Yeah.
This one's gonna ruin a lot of people's multis. I think this one's gonna bury some multis.
Alrighty, on to the Sunday games. The first one, we've got Tigers versus Roosters, Campbelltown Sports Stadium. There's been a lot of changes for this game for both teams.
Yep.
Well, not really for both teams, mainly more the Roosters. So for the Tigers, pardon me, Adam Doueihi, he's back. He's been named at 6 with Moses Mbye moving to the bench. And Russell Packer is out of the 17. For the Roosters, Jake Friend got that head knock last week, that real bad head knock we saw. Freddie Lussick starting in hooker for him. Drew Hutchinson's come in for Adam Kieran, who dislocated his wrist. No good. Sucks. And Nat Butcher is starting in place of Angus Crichton, who was suspended for a crusher tackle, with Fletch Baker coming onto the bench.
I think there's some news around that Sam Walker is a chance to get into 17. Might be just before kickoff. So that'll be interesting to see. A lot of raps on him. It's pretty funny that the two most talked about young players in the game right now are both at the Roosters. So they're in pretty good. They're in pretty good stead there. I'm interested to see how Adam Doueihi plays at 6. I think he's more suited to 6 than fullback, in my opinion. I think he's a good ball runner, but he didn't really have the pace for fullback. He's probably lap me in a 100-meter sprint, but for the NRL, maybe not. I think the Roosters will win this game. I do think it'll be closer than what people think, just because the Roosters last week had a virtual training run against Manly, where the Tigers had an actual competitive game against the Raiders in at times, some pretty high-intensity football. So maybe they're a little bit more battle-hardened for this week. So I think it could be closer than what people think. I think the Roosters should get it done. Jake Friend's a huge loss for them. And he could be out for ages. They've got a history, the Roosters, of sitting players when they get concussions, especially repeated concussions. And we all know it's well documented. Jake Friend and Boyd Cordon have had a lot of concussions in the last few years.
And Luke Keary even.
Luke Keary. Well, they sat Luke Keary. Yeah,
for a while.
For 6 weeks. So Jake Friend could be out for a while. Big loss for them, I think. I think especially having Boyd out already, it's a lot of leadership out of the team for them.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go the Roosters, but I think it'll be closer than what people think it will be. All right.
The Roosters will still win, but I think it's going to be a close game because the Tigers, they did look good last week against the Raiders.
Yep.
They did. They didn't look bad. They didn't get run over. They didn't look like pushovers or nothing. So, pardon me, I'll still pick the Roosters though, but in a close game.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right, last game of the round.
In the last game of the round, we've got the Sharks versus the Raiders at Jubilee. Okay, so there's Jesse Raymond has been suspended. Obviously, we spoke about this yesterday. I'm probably going to stitch his name up. Maween Hiroti. He's been named. He's been named to play in the centres in place of Ramian. Other than that, both teams unchanged.
Sharks Raiders. This is the first of many long weeks here for the Sharks. as I've spoken about it a lot of times now, they've got a lot of hard games coming up. We're going to see what they're really made of this week, I think. I think last week they played the Dragons, who a lot of people expect to be down the bottom of the ladder. The Raiders people are expecting big things from them. So this will be a very hard week. No Andrew Fafita still. I find that strange.
No, yeah.
Also, Jared Croker. Reportedly Jared Croker is healthy, but Ricky's leaving him out of the squad just to get some match fitness, like to get his fitness up before they bring him back. So that's interesting as well. It's a huge game. It's a really good game. It'll be a good game to end the round with because I think both teams are going to be right up for it. It'll be ultra physical, in my opinion. I'll go the Raiders, but the Sharks have a lot to lose here. I think they have to start this run of games well.
I don't give the Sharks any chance. Any chance.
What about the first half Raiders?
The first half Raiders are still good. It's just the second half Raiders are the best in the league in the comp. Yeah. So I think it'll be same as last week for the Raiders. Close in the first half, and then they'll just run away with the second half.
Yeah, maybe second half total points overs, guys. Well, that's our tips then. So just to recap, just quickly, Eels Storm. I went to Storm. You've gone
Eels.
All right. Warriors Knights. I went the Knights.
Yeah, Knights.
Titans Broncos. I went the Titans.
I went the Broncos.
So a couple of different this week. Bulldogs Panthers. We both went the Panthers. Rabbits Manly. We both went the Rabbits. Cowboys Dragons. I went the Cowboys.
We both went Cowboys.
You went the Cowboys as well. I'm really worried about that game. Tigers Roosters. We both went the Roosters. And Sharks Raiders. We both went the Raiders.
Yep.
So let us know who you guys go in the comments, guys, and we'll leave our link tree for all our social media in the comment section as well. So go check them out, and we'll see you Monday. Enjoy round 2.